What is up, everybody? Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. I hope you guys are doing well. When it rains, it pours, my fellas.
You always like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, something will happen.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
It's
he
a
does.
whole week. Something going to be up.
Yeah, I know. Well, I hope you guys are tuned in. We're going to have some fun tonight. We are welcoming a really, really great funk jam band, jazz funk band. They kind of fall under a bunch of different genres, to be totally honest. The one and only Soulive is going to be here tonight. Great, great band. We got Alan in here. We got Neal in here. Let's do this, shall we? Because I'm really excited to have these guys on board.
All curse out Eric Krasno together.
Yeah, let's.
You mother.
Shut your mouth.
Where you at?
Yeah, Kraz. We'll find out from the boys where.
Sure, that's all right. Yeah,
we'll find out from the brothers what's going on.
Can't
but
wait.
tonight, yes, we have a special guest that I've been a fan of for many years. They've been together for over 25 years. Pretty much. It's really interesting. There is for lack of a better term, kind of a nepotism that kind of happens with various members of that funk jam band community. Like, where you see different guests sitting in and kind of moving around. And I think I saw each one of these individual band members with other projects before I saw them together as Soulive. And I've always been a fan of these guys for sure. Soulive is no different. They've shared the stages with plenty of bands, from Lettuce and Tedeschi Trucks Band and so many others. And they've toured with many major acts, including the Rolling Stones, Dave Matthews Band, The Roots, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, I will bring them in both together. It's Alan and Neal Evans from Soulive, right here, live, all the way live. How you doing, gentlemen? Man, come on.
Doing well.
Good. Chilling.
Look at them. All right.
Looks just chilling.
Look at these dudes. Look at them. Look at them.
Look at them. Look at them.
Look at them.
See, I tell you, Mike. You see, they're easy on the eyes. Look, it's just like the ladies are all.
Yeah, they're making us look bad.
It's just because it's nighttime. That's all.
These handsome dudes on
Look
board.
at the ladies are all swooning. Look at them. All right, come on, man. Let's get it.
No, wait a minute. Didn't I met one of you cats, man, in a hotel in Italy.
You met both of us.
No, you met.
Was it?
Okay. Because, but
we were just talking about that.
Crack it up, because we hung out backstage. It was at the Blue Note there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you came down, and man, we were, and I'm pretty sure you came with Tommy.
Yeah, me and Barbarella.
And you guys walked in the room, and I was like, yo. And I remember we sat down and just we were rolling right from the beginning, just laughing. And man, so I'm not sure if did you maybe run into Kraz at the hotel, and maybe someone told you because I remember when you just popped into the backstage, and we were on the floor just crying, laughing the whole time.
Yeah. I don't remember I met Kraz then, or I think he might have came through Bunkers, this club here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Where everybody comes to sit in. I think that's where I met Eric. I think he was out with Lettuce at the time.
Wait, because I was playing with Lettuce too. I remember. Yeah, doesn't that club have the balcony in it?
No, it ain't
there
that big. It's a little hole in the wall downtown.
Oh, okay. I remember. Yeah, because I just remember we did I remember playing a Lettuce show, and I just remember the whole crew was there. You all kind of showed up, and we were all bugging out, man. I know we played hard that night, man.
Yeah, man, we ain't nobody.
We were like, yo, man.
Y'all ain't got to do the extra hoofing because of us, man. We ain't nobody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Y'all bad by your damn self.
Now, what were you there for?
Whether we there or not, huh?
What were you there for? Were you there with MPG, or was this earlier than that or later than that?
Sonny and Barbarella and I were on tour with Georgia, this Italian singer. She's like the Italian Whitney Houston.
Yeah,
so
right.
They had us just stay in somewhere for a few days while nothing was happening. So and I think we met one of you guys in the what do they call it? Like the hotel lounge. I think somebody was in the hotel lounge. I remember talking to one of you cats, man.
Al, maybe it was you. Yeah, I mean,
and I must say, well, where y'all playing at? You know?
Yeah, right.
And that was, I mean, I always think back to that time because that was our first time in Milan, and it was I remember it was Fashion Week there in Milan.
That's
so
right.
I thought it was gonna be like crazy. I was like, oh man, I'll be in Milan. It's like it'll be Fashion Week, but it was I think there must have been a holiday or something like that and I didn't realize like Milan is like the banking capital of Italy, and everything was closed. So I remember like walking around, and it was just dead. It was really wild, but I mean, it was a beautiful place to just get to walk around and
definitely.
Yeah.
And were you guys there? Were you guys there with Lettuce, or who was?
No, that was Soulive. And that was
Soulive.
just the trio, right?
That was the trio.
Or was Sam with us at that time?
Nah, man.
No, So there's times that, like when we just had different like horn players and some singers, but that's right. That was just a trio. Yeah, it was when we just kind of went out as a
blazing,
trio.
man.
So I mean, so how did you guys recognize? So Al and Neal, you recognize Michael, or vice versa, or how did you guys connect in the lobby? I mean, did you say, "Oh, that's Michael"? How did that all transpire?
I honestly can't remember. that was a long time ago. I swear, man, I'll just never forget the backstage. Because
I remember that.
Because there was a little fridge right there, and there was like Peronis, and I mean, it was still like daylight. Because I'm wondering, that's right, because those Blue Note shows were early. Yeah. So I remember we came down, we were like, we just sat there and just had a Peroni, and man, it was.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you got to understand, like, I was like really just bugging out that you and Tommy came out, man. Like I was tripping out.
You guys are fans. Well, a lot of musicians are they know Prince's music, but are you guys fans?
Come on.
Who are we talking about?
Who is this Prince you speak of?
Who is this person?
That's the guy that just got arrested. I saw him on the news. That's why
listen.
This guy. This guy.
But it's just kind of crazy because like just in like all of the music of Prince, like it's just error after error. And obviously like Alan and I just come from an interesting kind of music background. Like our father was born in like 1937.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So we grew up with just jazz, and he was in classical too. We have an older brother. I'm 50. I just turned 50. We have an older brother who's will be 71 this year.
Wow,
so like he was playing us like funk, James Brown, like Bob, like when we were like 2, 3, 4 years old, right? So and obviously Prince. So like we just grew up with like. It wasn't like we were just some kids and like we were in the 80s and just heard Prince on the radio. We knew everything. And I just have to say, man, like when so then you have all the eras, like the Prince and the Revolution, and when NPG came out, it like, man, I know this, like, because so when you dropped that, man, when I heard Sexy Mother, oh my goodness, man, like, honestly, that was the first time since like I'm talking about real James Brown, like real James Brown, like when like I got to hear something that I just thought like I'd never hear again, like really, because you had like Maceo stuff that had like come out, and you're like, oh man, like Maceo's putting out these albums, but that whole album, man, oh my gosh. Diamonds and Pearls. The other crazy thing I'll never forget about that album, I think that might be the longest CD ever recorded, because I'm pretty sure that, and we were used to bug on this. I think Prince maxed out the time on that CD to the second. I don't even know if there's a longer CD that's ever been made than that album.
You talking about
there might be one I can
think of.
What's it? One?
Sexy MF and all of that. You talking about that record with My Name Is Prince and all that?
Yes.
I think you might be right. Dude, no, Diamonds and Pearls was it only had like 13
that's all
tracks
on that. Yes.
That maxed it out.
Now, do you know of another? I mean, the time length on that was crazy. And it was that album was packed with, it was like song hit. It was just from top to bottom. That album was just it was a musical odyssey. Like,
all right, well, damn.
Well, some of those tracks you mentioned were on the Symbol album. Some of the tracks were on the Symbol album, and then some were in Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah, so there was.
So which one am I thinking about?
Yeah.
So it must
You're
be
thinking about Diamonds and Pearls. That's the one with Cream and Get Off.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, right. Exactly. That album.
Sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's
well, fantastic. All right, man.
Oh yeah. You're asking. You're straight up asking. Are we friends? Oh my goodness, man.
Not everybody is, man.
Dude, I'll tell you. Like, I'm talking about.
Man.
I remember when Al got For You.
For You.
Yo,
For You.
like.
Dirty Mind. Come on, man.
Dude,
what was the first Prince album you had?
Listen, Around
the
the World.
first Prince album?
Your first Prince album.
For You, yeah.
What was the first one you had?
Yep.
I started with Dirty Mind and then went back.
Yeah, Dirty. Yeah.
And then remember, it was like in the 90s when they it was the 90s when they dropped that B-sides.
Yeah, the B-sides.
Yeah, sure.
Album, and then so it's like then it's like songs I never heard, like Condition of the Heart, like these things that you Why Don't You Call Me Anymore, like, oh my, and you just I mean, there were just things you were going like, oh, this is just Prince on piano. Why don't you, I mean, when I remember when that thing dropped, that just blew me away. But Pop Life, like, is like, that song is, I mean, there's so many masterpieces, but that one just really trips me out. The fact that it's like dun dun, and then the second chord dun, dun, and the bass is moving, and the third chord say dun dun, and then the third dun dun, like those are things that have just been burned into my head. Like when I write, just trying to do things like harmonically.
Yeah.
Did you get an opportunity to ever hear him later when as Pop Life evolved, like some of his later concerts in the 2000s when he started to play in it, and it just took on a whole the bop 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 bop. It's like everything is just bouncing. It's amazing. I mean, some of these songs just stand the test of time and just get better with age. It's amazing. It's just
from someone like that. I mean, honestly, that's something that like Soulive, like it's just something like since we grew up, Al and I grew up with that music, and you know, like back in the day, like live performances were hard to find. You know, like VHS, you know, you might go to the video store and you'd see a concert or something like that. And then you'd hear like these things, like unless you got to go see someone live and perform the song differently or add things, you know, like I think a lot of people just expect, oh, when you go see a song, they're gonna play it like the album. But we just grew up, you know, growing up like with improvisational music. Like if you come see Soulive, like, man, every time you come see us, like even on our album, like we drop albums, and like say we cut the like our, not this album but our previous one, the Cinematics 2. Al, how long was it before we did a show? Like was it like we did it basically, you know, like we cut the album, but it's like, yo, we did that last year.
You know?
It was, and that was the only time we played the songs, was when we wrote and cut them in the studio. So came time to do the show, like we're playing them differently. We're not like, okay, let's go back and play. And the same thing with the new album. Like already we've done shows and like you just learn these things from, you know, masters, you know, because I've always like, those are the things that blow people's minds away when they go to a concert and they're just like, oh, that chord is not in the song, or oh wait, they dropped out and it's just like the drummer, you know, like those are the type of things like that entertainers and like as us as musicians, we just know, like when like you have that kind of control on stage, just take the audience somewhere that they've never been because they've only heard these tunes. Like
but it's, you know, but it's man, I was just rapping with someone about that actually recently, man, and it's like it's sometimes it's the great performers know how to read the room too. You know what I mean? So it's not that so you know, when you can feel the vibe in the room, you know, you change things because people maybe, you know, like, oh, people may not be feeling this or it needs to move into a different direction. And someone was like, well, is that, you know, aren't you just then kind of catering to the audience? I'm like, Not really, but I mean that's like, but again, like you just need to know how to read the room. And I see a lot of people, not anymore, but when we were touring, you run into people who just stick to the set list. This is what we do. This is it. And if people, aren't going with you on that ride, you have to know, you have to have the knowledge, or the discipline. I don't even know what you want to call it, or just the common sense to just change things up. And again, that's what, man, great performers do, man. Like, like you can go down Prince, James Brown, like, I mean, you could just Michael J. You can just go down the line, of just, man, let's flip it up. Like you got to know what's happening in the room, man. Like get them what they want.
Definitely. I'm thinking about a moment. We played Rock in Rio in like 1991. That was the first performance with Sonny and Tommy in the band, and we were playing like Shake from Graffiti Bridge or something. It was like the Rock in Rio festival. It's like all these Brazilians want to hear the hits, and Prince is throwing them Horny Pony. Prince is throwing them like all these cuts that ended up being B-sides or whatever. And he at some point he realized he lost the audience. And he just on the one, and he said Kiss, and he pointed at Levi, and he just we just took off. Took off running.
There you go.
Nobody said nothing about it. It just happened.
But also, like, I remember growing up, and my dad, like, he would I'm talking about, like, I mean, I guess I was probably playing music then, but he put out a Miles Davis album.
Okay.
And it started with a ballad.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And I just remember him saying, like, it was kind of like, you can set the tone. Like you don't have to come out with like he was just first song, it's like someone drops a new album. Like, why can't you do that? You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I got to put this out, but it's the same thing with playing live. We were playing Tokyo Blue Note years ago, and we walked out on stage. I remember, like, I just love playing there because the Japanese crowds are just amazing. They're like clapping and bopping the whole time. Yeah. And when I walked out on stage, we had an amazing sound check. Walked out on stage, the audience, the tables go right up to the stage to my to my foot right there, and I walked out, and the woman in front of me, she looked like she was in her mid to late 90s. So if she's Japanese, I'm like, man, this woman could be easily over 100. And she was just sitting there, like, really sweet. And I remember when I sat down, Alan, because Kraz, he's looking right at her, and we all looked at each other like, because we were just gonna come out.
Should we turn down?
And I remember I looked at Al, I was like, I was kind of like, let's like,
yep.
And because we just made that choice, like, let's come in and not just blow people's heads off, because the Leslie and the bass cabinets are right, just go. And this woman was rocking all night. She was in the seats just like clapping. She was like, and then we turned it literally like,
turned it up.
It was probably like, Kraz hit a song. We just kind of turned it up, and but I think it's like the awareness. Like literally having the awareness of what's going on in the room. Like you have to.
Absolutely.
Because you're not just there playing, like you're not just there.
You're not in a bubble. You're not
for yourself.
You're not playing at people.
Yeah, exactly.
You're playing
it's like you're literally playing like with like so
you're trying to take them somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it really
and they're
is.
A part of it, so you just can't that like
can't ignore them and just
ego has to there can't be any ego, and like it has to go.
I want to share some shots with you guys that I took of you. I think this was at the Bear Creek. This is Bear.
Oh yeah.
You guys probably haven't seen these shots, but I took them at Bear Creek in, I think this was New Orleans, the Bear Creek Bayou.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a bunch of shots that I took. I need to send these to you because some of these are really. There's Kraz. And just some. I mean, obviously, you can see your progression. All of you are always vibing. It's like every time that I've seen you guys live, I think I've seen you like 3 or 4 times, and every time at a festival of sorts. And I normally come as press, so it kind of gives me access to kind of get some of these really phenomenal shots of you guys and to get up close and personal. But yeah, I need to send you guys all these shots because this is
Those are great, man.
Right on.
Yeah, some really, really cool shots. I mean, if I look at a shot and I go, that's a great shot. Then I know it's a friggin' great shot. You know,
If I say it's great, it's gotta be great.
What's so funny about seeing stuff is like especially like Al and mine, like our looks changing and the hairstyles changing over here. Literally, I saw something the other day. I saw this comment on this video, and literally the whole time the camera's on Al, just watching Al just rock, right? Just he was killing it. And one comment goes, "Yo, who is that drummer?" He's like, "Where's Al?" Because Al had this like his hair was. I was just die, and I'm kind of like, I mean, that's my brother. Like, it's not like, oh, that doesn't look like. I mean, it was just one of the funniest comments I'd ever seen. They were like, "Where's Al?" And literally, like the whole time, Al's face is just the frame with this huge hair. They're like,
That's
"That doesn't
Al with
look
some
like
hair."
Al."
Yeah.
They were like, Kat said, dude, the comment was hilarious. He's like, "This cat has shot this. He's playing like some fusion. This dude shot." He's like, "But I don't." He's like, "But it was." I was just crying, man. He was like, "Oh man,
Well, I want to
Can you
talk.
tell by Al's playing?
No, it was just funny because he was like, he didn't look like him. He was like, I mean, he thought it was just funny. He just literally thought it didn't look like Al. But it's just like funny when we see pictures like that, you just see all these.
Yeah.
I see these photos. I'm like, man, like it's like every time it's like different hairs, different styles, wear the shoes, not wear the shoes. You know, you see
hair
these
do's,
phases.
hair don'ts. Yeah.
All
of them.
Yeah.
So I, we all are familiar with Soulive, but there are a lot of people that are here live right now that are not familiar with you guys. So I kind of want to dig in a little bit, just to kind of walk through your journey, starting, I guess, back in the 90s when you guys were playing with, to kind of give people a little bit of an idea of what they can expect if they go digging into the Soulive discography. So you guys not started, but I know that you first kind of came on the scene with Moon Boot Lover, which is Peter Prince still does the Moon Boot Lover thing, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
So tell me about that band. Was that one of the first projects that you two worked together on, or tell me a little bit about how you guys got involved with them? Let's start there.
Yeah, well, it actually goes back before Moon Boot, so Al can tell you.
Yeah, I mean, so Pete and I met in
80
something,
87 or 88,
something like that. I don't know. So at the time, man, this is going so far back. I think I was a freshman or sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And so at the time, then I had stopped playing drums actually. I was just playing guitar. And a buddy of mine who this buddy, our friend Josh Levitt, who we grew up with, was a sax player. We were in the band together at school. So anyway, but he was in the jazz band at the Buff State College, and where we grew up in Buffalo. So anyway, so Josh one day he's like, "Al, I met this guitar player, and I think we should get together and jam." I was like, "Man, what are you talking about, man? I'm playing guitar. We don't need, I'm not trying to play with any guitar player." So he said, "No, man, you gotta come check him out. So I was like, "All right, man, we want you to play drums." Like, "All right, cool." So he said, "All right, well, I'm gonna come pick you up, and then we're gonna go scoop him at Buff State." I was like, "All right, cool." So then we hop in the whip and we're going over there. He's like, "Oh, but before we get over there, I just want you to let you know he's not a skinhead." I was like, "What?" so Neal, you remember back in Buffalo, man, there was like a little minute, man, where I don't know, man, just whatever. There was like a little skinhead thing, there was some
situation. I got you.
Whatever.
Because we were like the punk skinheads and then skinheads, so
yeah. So he was like,
we had him in the 80s. Yeah, we had him in the 80s.
Yeah, man. So
when you met the person, like you're like, "Wait, are you a skinhead or are you a skinhead?"
Yeah. So Josh was like, "Man, he just didn't want me to go, do something crazy or whatever, So anyway, so we get back to Josh, we pick him up, we get back to Josh's house, and get on the drums, and I don't even know if there was a bass player, but it was just the three of us. And I remember Pete started playing. What was the first thing that we played? Oh, he just came out with Couldn't Stand the Weather, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And I was like, oh man, this dude, I was just, when you hear, when you're like younger and you hear someone play something that you can't play, but it sounds, but you think it sounds exactly like the record,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shoot, man. So, and then from them, we were a band. And so when we started, we were called The Groove, which was a really original name. Well, we did that for a while. And then, so the thing was, so Pete, when he graduated when he was done at Buff State, I was done in high school. So it was kind of like, man, what am I gonna do? Like I knew I wasn't going to college, and because I fell asleep during my SATs or at the beginning of them, because I had a gig the night before,
I think I did that too, man.
Oh yeah, man. No, we had dude, I'm telling you, we had a gig the night before, man. And I got to the SATs and I sat down. I'm like, all right, cool. And I said, I'm just gonna put my head down for a sec. And when I opened my eyes, everyone was gone. I was like, well, okay. Anyway. But so anyway, the point is I mean, so Neal was in the groove for a little while, like back in. So I mean, like I said, man, I was like
when I was like what 13,
exactly
12,
and man, so back then, man, I'm telling you, man, we were making money, man. I mean, for real, we were making money because we were playing a lot in Buffalo, and then we'd leave town, and do like these college gigs and stuff. So anyway, so the whole thing was like, so Pete was graduating, and I graduated high school, and it was kind of like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to stick around Buffalo or to move to New York City. We became Moon Boot Lover, and then Neal, a few years later, came and
high school,
came and rejoined us, and then that was it, man. We were doing it, man. I mean, we were on the road a bunch, like just gigging all the time,
the country, just touring the country,
yeah. So
that's awesome. So, and then kind of fast forward a little bit to 1999, you invite Eric Krasno, who I guess you knew from high school, out to. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how did you?
We met Kraz when
we were Moon Boot Lover.
When we were Moon Boot Lover, and we would come through the Northeast, like all of the guys from Lettuce and Deitz's with this band Fat Bag, Boston, and then Kraz was like Kraz and I graduated high school the same year in '94. So it was literally the summer after when I joined Moon Boot again, and when Kraz was out of high school, like we went through Northampton, and they all like they all came out, and it was like so. I mean, literally known. Like all the Lettuce cats from like the year we all graduated high school, and like Deitz's, but like Fat Bag, they were opening up for us, right?
I got a question about Fat Bag. Is this the dude? This the leader like plays saxophone?
Yep. Yeah, you remember? Yeah.
I cut with those dudes in LA, man.
Oh yeah.
He had a song that went like, "I don't want to work another double." That's the one I remember.
Yeah, they were like that was crazy. Anthony, like, I mean, it was like
I don't remember dude's name.
Okay, but
I know
the same guy. I got
But they were bad, and then it was like we're like, man, who's the drummer? It's like there's like Deitch, so it's like it's just like we all just it was just like that. And meeting Kraz, and then like when we were coming to the Northeast, like literally like we were playing like some festival in Massachusetts or something, and then it was just like, oh, Lettuce was opening up for us, and so then so now I'm hanging out like eating, meeting Schmeen, Zoid, like I mean it was like literally like that summer in '94 when we all met and just kind of knew each other over those years with Moon Boot Lover. Wow. And then we didn't reconnect. Well, Al could kind of tell you how that happened when we started Soulive.
Yeah, I mean we started Soulive. Yeah, like you said. Well, it was early '99, right?
Yeah.
Or really '98, '99. 99.
Yeah.
So it was Neal, myself, and this cat Nick Mancini, who was in the band, and he was in the band for like a quick sec, you know. So we did one gig with him, but you know, before that gig, he told us that he was taking a pit gig on Broadway. You know, I mean, he was bad. He was a bad dude. You know,
Vibraphonist. Out in
Vibraphonist,
LA.
yeah.
Nick
Oh,
Mancy. I mean,
okay.
amazing, amazing.
Right on.
So it just so happened that at that first gig that we played, Kraz came out to check us out because he heard that we, you know, Neal and I had, you know, had something new going. So he sat in, and you know, so after the gig, he was like, "Oh man, yo, you guys, that's my stuff, man." Then, you know, it's like, "Well, that's funny, man. Like, we're actually looking for a guitar. So would you, you know, could you?" He was like, "Yeah, well, I'll come down." And originally he was just Kraz was just gonna fill in on some gigs while we found a guitarist. But after we said, man, after literally when we first got together at our place, man, we started playing and recorded, and we like kind of sat. I remember we were sitting in the living room listening back, and we were like, well, you know, guess this is a band.
Yeah.
You know,
Sounds like a band. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ultimately, you guys ended up from that jam session. You guys put together the EP "Get Down,"
Yep.
and then of course, shortly after that, then your first album "Turn It Out."
Right.
So I got a question though on regarding those two releases for the Soulive fans in here. They probably have asked you the question before. Will that EP and that album ever see Spotify? Is there a reason why they're not there?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah. What?
I mean, because you can upload.
Well,
you can upload anything you want.
We could, but I remember looking into it, and it was gonna be a little funny because we might like actually get it pulled down because it's just I should just try it. I guess.
Does somebody else own the masters, or do you guys
Well,
own the masters on that?
Yeah,
Not Get Down.
Not Get Down. No, not Get Down.
But
yeah,
because Turn It
I
Out.
thought-
Turn It Out.
Turn
was,
It Out.
Like
Velour.
was ours that we did on what was the
Velour.
on Velour.
Velour, yeah.
And that's kind of like that's Eric's older brother, and that was their, that was the label that they had. But then, like a year after we put that out, that's when all the
Blue Note
did, because Blue Note put out who?
No, it was something else between Velour.
Yeah, what was
Blue
it?
Note.
Was it just Velour redid it with the Schofield on it?
Yeah,
That's what Velour put it out again, because then we added like Nealization on it when we had Schofield. So it's like the album was out, then it was like I kind of remember. So I guess Velour. So I guess that might be the thing, is that it's technically like Velour's record. It is Velour's. We literally would just have to kick it with them, and be like, hey, what, like.
But they don't even exist anymore. So
that's the kind of weird thing about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how crazy it is, man. Like, that's how long we've been around, and that things change so much from when we started. Because really, technically, those at least Turn It Out. Maybe I don't even know if there is a version of Get Down, maybe, but it was like iTunes. Now you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a different, that's when it was on iTunes, and then it just kind of became, I don't know. I mean, I should just, I can do it. I mean, I can just try it, and then if
I mean, there's really not much that can happen. I mean, it's very similar to what we experience, because I have a radio station. We have a funk radio station that's on 24/7, and it's just a matter of really, as long as you keep records on, which Spotify does for you. Keep records of how many people listened and whatever. If anything comes up, you at least have documentation, of what occurred. I mean, I think that it would be really, really good, especially like maybe on the 20th. Well, that's probably already passed. The 25th anniversary edition. Yeah. Or,
26 is coming up in a few days.
Yeah, exactly. So something like that would be really great for fans.
27.
What? Yeah, when
we have 27 years is coming up on March 2nd.
So maybe you just plan for the 30th. Maybe you just plan for the 30th and just have like a really special colored vinyl. Just plan it out. You got 3 years to think it out.
Yeah, I know we got to just get on the phone with him, like, hey,
tie all those loose ends and whatnot. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All that, but that's
a great idea. That's a great idea.
So but anyway, so I'm glad that you guys were able to kind of get that traction to kind of move forward, because I also have a question about when you guys moved to Blue Note. Because on your new album, your brand new album, Flowers, by the way, folks, if you want to purchase the album Flowers, just go to funkatopia.com/flowers, and it will take you directly to the Amazon page to purchase the album on vinyl or wherever it's available on vinyl, right?
Yeah.
And then it will take you right to the Amazon page. I could send you to Spotify, but you know how we play here. They make 0.0001 cent if you listen to the album. Much rather you go to Amazon and buy it and actually get a physical copy. We got to keep this physical, the life of music alive, right? So funkatopia.com/flowers will take you right to it. But on this album, it also features a friend of mine, Van Hunt.
Ooh, Van.
Van used to be here in Atlanta, and it was so awesome when he was here because he would do all these one-off shows at Apache Cafe. And I literally sat on a folding chair underneath a tent in the back parking lot of a McDonald's to watch him play. Like literally he was playing on a stage behind a McDonald's in their parking lot. And it's like, so to be able to kind of see, his growth and then be opening for brand new heavies and being engaged to Halle Berry, it's kind of like the progression. It's just been pretty amazing. But the question is, as far as Blue Note is concerned, some people might not know this, but after Van Hunt's album On the Jungle Floor, he went to Blue Note and he recorded an album called Popular.
Exactly.
On Blue Note. And it was an amazing, luckily I was able, I think he gave it to me. He gave me a CDR with it burned on it. So I was able to get it. But it got shelved by Blue Note.
Yeah.
And the problem was that there was such a long period of time between On the Jungle Floor and the next release that he had come out that it was such a weird progression. It just kind of lost a lot of people.
Not us.
not us, but for the general public that was just kind of attaching themselves on from hearing him open for brand new heavies and hearing, some of the stuff on the radio and whatnot, and his work with Nika Costa and all that stuff. But it kind of really, I feel like it really kind of messed up his trajectory. And I was kind of curious because you guys left Blue Note Records too. And I've always kind of viewed Blue Note, I guess that's on me, as really kind of an artist friendly type of label. Like they really kind of protect, a musician's legacy and whatnot. But I keep hearing these random stories about them. Was there anything negative that happened when you guys left Blue Note?
We actually had a great relationship with Blue Note. Like this when Bruce Lundvall was there, and that was just crazy to you walk in the room as President Blue Note Bruce Lundvall and just knowing all of them, just the history of music that he was attached to and who he was in the record industry. Why did we leave Blue? There was always things where it's just like, it's just time. It was always just
I remember.
All right, go ahead.
I remember it might not have been my finest moment, but so
it was because
there was kind of. So leading up, so everything was cool. Everything was great. The majority of everything was cool with them. Great people. But things changed, and for us and other people. And look, I can say this now because it doesn't really matter. But when they signed Norah Jones, things changed.
I bet.
Because and not in an artistic way or anything, whatever. It's like, hey, she was making the money. You know what I mean? It just blew up. And it's one of those and you can't fault them for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like because. Man, no one could have seen that coming. I don't think so. Maybe they did. I don't think they did.
And you remember the story about that because it was actually because we just knew Nora from
Wax Poetic.
What's that?
Wax Poetic.
Yeah, Wax
Remember?
Poetic, and like we were doing
With her,
shows at the Izzy
Marlon.
Bar together. It was
Yeah.
like us, Wax Poetic, and like it was just like we were all just kind of like, I mean, that was such a great time, like in the but it was so it was actually Kraz that was like, because Nora, then all of a sudden people were kind of hearing like, oh wait, Nora's doing a like solo, and I was kind of like, huh, wait, she's doing solo. We just know her rocking with Wax Poetic, and so she was doing shows at the Knitting Factory, down in the city when it was still open. And I think Kraz took our
Eli.
guy, Eli down there. Did he take Bruce down there too?
Yeah, I think maybe or
Yeah. They were
Brian
like, Kraz was literally
Bacchus,
like, yo,
maybe.
you should check this girl out. And they rolled down there. There were probably like 5 people at the show.
Yeah.
But what
Wow.
you can't deny is what you were seeing on stage.
Right,
like when you I remember I saw Nora rock a show once at the bottom.
Yeah, no.
And it was like what her voice did. I was freaking out. It was that amazing.
Yeah, she's a monster.
But so it's like, it's kind of undeniable, but so good for them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that's just lost in music now, that you could actually go into a room and see someone play for 5 people and you go like, we're gonna do something with it. Like, so good for them.
It was amazing.
So Al, finish your story. What was your finest moment?
Well, so anyway, so
Right, you're trying to get out of
so all of a sudden
we need that clip.
The attention. Hey, man, I don't care. But I'll say, man, the attention that we were getting, I felt we were no longer really getting because of, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, whatever. That's cool. We're doing our thing. What sent me over the edge, I'll just say me. I don't want to bring anyone else in. We were on one of our, what was the last album we did with them? Was it Next?
Next. Yeah.
Next came out, right? And we were going on tour to promote the album, right? We're in LA. The first night of the tour was going to be at the House of Blues, right? Sold out show. Man, we're going to have the album. We're going to be, it was going to be awesome. So I remember our crew showed up. They had boxes. They had boxes and boxes and boxes of, CDs for us, to have, for our merch people to have.
Sure.
Man. So we open up the boxes because we can't wait to, remember the excitement back in the day.
Sure.
They weren't Soulive records, man. They were all something, man. And I was just.
What were they?
I don't even remember, man. They weren't. I don't remember.
They were Blue Note label artists. Or?
Yeah, and it was just something.
Funny, man. I don't even think I knew,
dude. And again, there might have been other things. There had to have been. I hope there were other things because I know I'm not that crazy. But like, it just kind of like that was like the camel that broke the, the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, man. Yeah. And then after that, it was just like, well, and it was cool. I mean, whatever. We partied all, it was cool, because they were just like, hey, if you're not real, because we were still under contract, you know what I mean? But they were like, hey, but what is, if you're not happy, if people aren't happy, what is the contract? You know what I mean? It's like, cool, whatever. So we just kind of went off and did our thing.
Cool. It was also, it was time, and
it was time.
Felt like it was time. But it's kind of interesting because, man, we have other friends that were on Blue Note. I'm talking about my man James Hurt.
Yep.
If you check out James Hurt's James Hurt piano, his piano album on Blue Note from that time, again, because that was a whole other thing. Like, we were bringing, like, they found out about him. I mean, he was known in New York, but it was like, we really were like, yo, you should do an album with James Hurt, and it's just one of the best piano albums. Like, and that was the whole thing. Then he was going to do his second album, and it got
shelved it.
It got funky with Blue Note, and then so we were seeing that. We definitely saw that happen. When you see it happen to your friends, you're just like, oh man, it just didn't make sense, because he literally was just made some of those beautiful music on that first album, and then he was just trying to do like something else on the second album. He wasn't just going to do a straight ahead like jazz like he want, and
Sure.
I just remember that went awry. I totally like.
Yeah. That was probably a part of my. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, just kind of.
So, but now you have a brand new album out, Flowers, and so how do you feel about your new label now, or this label you're on now?
They're, I mean, they're great. It's kind of funny, like when this kind of all kicked off, like it was literally like, you know, all of a sudden when you get these emails of like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is everyone we're reaching out, you know, like those things we hadn't seen literally since we've been on Blue Note.
Right.
When you got this, like when Leah's hitting us up, just going, this is what's going on, and this is happening. This is like, and so that was just great to. You're kind of like, oh man, that's just amazing. You know that, like that's how it kind of should be for. You know, you kind of wish that could be like that for all artists, so they could get out there and people can know that they put something out. So
the marketing is huge. The marketing for any label is like so important. It's like you just can't just sign artists. You have to support them and get, you know, help them sell albums. I mean, not everybody can do everything. I mean, Leah Concialdi, is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yeah.
She's a monster. I mean, I regularly get emails from her, not just, you know, for you guys, for other artists as well. And she's always following up, and she's always checking to see where, you know, what's going on. And she, you know, she's
been incredible.
She's
incredible.
on
like we're talking about that all the time.
Yeah.
When you asked about the label, like amazing. Like again, I mean, this is all, the whole album happened because of Al and the work that he was doing at this studio at Flow Key. So that's the only reason why this all came about. And they are just amazing people. Like when they presented the deal, it was just, it's like it doesn't exist in the world. It literally doesn't exist in the world. But then you're like, wow, it actually can, just because someone says, hey, let's do it this way. And just
so this is the album cover for the brand new album Flowers. And what's interesting about this, and I really want to get some background story on this too, is exactly the vibe when you guys are recording in this studio. This is Floki Studios, which is out in, is this Iceland? Is this where this is at?
Yeah.
Which is insane. It is in the middle of friggin' nowhere. So, and I think I have a picture of the inside of this. This is you guys outside, I guess, in Iceland. But that is that is where the inside of the studio. So I have to ask this, you know, because even if you have a perfect vision for creating an album, and just, you know, this is what we want to do. Want to do, you know, this really funk jazz album. I really want to get experimental and blah 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 blah. And you end up going to a studio like this, you know, studios that just kind of can alter just, I guess, the evolution of whatever it is that you're planning to do. Places like this and Joshua Tree, and you know, these studios that just create these total different ambience. First off, what is it like being in this facility? How long were you guys here?
Well, we were only there in the studio for recording for 6 days. But I guess I showed up a couple of days. Neal and I both showed up maybe a day and a half beforehand, just, you know, so I could kind of get set up and everything. And that's kind of generally what I've been there 3 other times recording other people there. I mean, you were
with Mono Neon, didn't you?
Yeah, I was over there with Mono. Yep. And then 2 other times with O'Teal. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, the place is, man, it is so hard to put in the words. And the funny thing is, like, the first time, well, those other times I was over there, I'd always, you know, talk to Neal and like just try to, you literally cannot put it in the words. It just, you know, and Neal knows what I'm talking about because he finally got over there. It's the most beautiful place on earth, man. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth, and we've been all over the planet. You know,
yeah. These places that are just as God designed it.
Yeah.
And just
I mean, check it. This is
just a
the
building
thing,
in the
man.
middle of it.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
So right where we were, where the three of us had, where my wife took that photo of us, right there. One day, this is when I was there. Was when we were there with Soulive. I've been there for a few years, like. But I remember standing out there, and it hit me that you don't hear airplanes. Okay, so because airplanes do, there are no airplanes, at least that we know of. But like, you're in, and even in any like place out in the country, like, or you're out in Colorado or whatever, there's always air traffic above, right?
Yeah.
There is no like you're 50 kilometers from the Arctic Circle. There's nobody has any business flying anything up there, So the thing that what that does is like, just if you just think about it, is quiet. I mean, it's hard to describe the quiet there, like, and when there's just no airplanes, there's hardly any cars. Like I mean, it is just silent, man. You just hear. I mean,
Nature.
so anyway, what I was, it's just nature. And the thing was, I'm always tripping on Neal and I are always tripping out. And we were talking about this when we were there. Like, man, I wish everybody on the planet could like experience that. It would literally change the world.
Yeah.
It would change the world.
Like so you asked what it does. It does do something because, like, I mean, you've been in how many studios have you been? You've been recording like tons of studios, right? And but at this place, it changes your perception. And that is one thing, like it alters your perception. The cool thing I don't know if you can see in the shot of the studio from the inside, but there's windows on all sides from that shot. Like there's windows rear, like on all sides. So we just set up kind of in a triangle, and like as we were recording, like Kraz is to one side, Al's here. I was just looking over them, just looking outside for those 6 days while I was recording
At the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, I was tripping out like while I was recording, like because most studios are studios. I've never really cared for them because it's all the same. It's like, right, millions of dollars of equipment, and it's a box, no sunlight, and there's a lounge. You know what I mean? Like kind of. But then there's some cool like studios and stuff. But like this is just different. This was just completely different. But it was also of where we were, the drive to the studio from where we were staying every single day.
Did it inspire any of the songs that are on the new album?
Oh, I mean, it inspired every single note on the album.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I didn't know if you guys had material.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys had material before you came into the studio. And
yep.
Okay. Yeah.
There and like everything just changed kind of when we were there. Like the approach to it. Like literally, Al had the most ideas coming into this, and
yeah,
it was just literally we'd get in the room and we would just start and things, they were just coming. Ideas were coming. Or we'd listen back to check ideas. That's what it was, like nonstop. There was no downtime when we were sitting there like, what should we do here? Like
that's the other thing about being environments like this is being in touch with, without there being an excess of outside noise, no cars, you're not going to walk outside the studio and it is like probably the closest that you can be connected spiritually to whatever music it is that you're creating inside there. It's just, it's such a pure experience. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, kind of at the heart of it. And Al's, what Al said is, I mean, that is if everyone in the world could experience this, like, there would be a shift in consciousness.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, there's a reason why this world has been designed the way that it has been. There's a reason why they want the majority of people in cities, void of nature, and which is essentially like a separation from God. It's taking you away from the source. And that's why the vibration of the world is what it is. Because when you experience this, and like when you get to for people, I can't believe like people who live there, like Icelandic people are just, they're different.
Yeah.
Like it's just, there's a common, a friendly, it's a different piece. And then you get brought into that. And it's like, this is known, like if you've, if you were able to live in this, like you would just change. I'm telling you, nature starts to talk to you when you live in places like this. When you live in remote places, and it's like your mind quiets down. All the frenetic, nervous energy from being in cities that dissipates, and then you're realigning with nature, and then nature starts talking to you and starts telling you what to do, and you just become in tune again with what we're here for. And I'm telling you, like
Exactly.
it's no mystery to the people that know, because that's why they entrap most people in the eye candy, the ear candy of cities.
Keep them controlled.
The distraction to keep you away from that. Because when you get back to that, then the bigger things come in, like you're like, what are we doing here? Like, wait, everyone should be like this. It's peaceful. There's enough for everyone. Like it's a much larger thing, but I'm just glad that this place exists, that for people who are like us, that were fortunate enough to experience it like we've gotten to, because it has informed the music.
Yeah. Well, so you've had a couple of singles off this. I think the first one was off of the brand new album. Let me see if I can just put that album cover back on. And again, remember that you can go to funkatopia.com/flowers to pick up this album on Amazon. Please make sure you pick up a physical copy of that. But the first single was Baby Jupiter, and the second one was Flowers at Your Feet.
Yep.
Oh no, Flowers at Flowers at Your Feet, which is with Van. And speaking to that, Flowers to Your Feet, it actually is lyrically an homage to Sly Stone, Brian Wilson, and D'Angelo. And I just have to ask, first off, how did you connect with Van? How did he end up in your circle?
Well, it's kind of funny because this kind of goes back to what you're talking about, back to the Blue Note. So after that, when he put out that next album, like, I mean, again, we were fans. We were bugging on Van from day one when kind of Dust came out. But when the second album came out, which, wasn't technically
on the Jungle Floor.
Exactly.
It was a good album, but it was, they're both great.
It's a master. It's like literally this master, because and so we were just fans, and we were, man, remember how much we rocked that album? So what it was just that we were doing bowl lives that we do with our dear friend Peter Shapiro, who owns the Brooklyn Bowls here, and the one here, I mean, he owns all of them, but like the Brooklyn Bowl here. And we just like, because it was kind of like guests every night, and for those 10 days. And so it was just like, we just to get to have this wish list of like, let's reach out to see who's available, who wasn't touring, that kind of thing. And it was like a no-brainer that we were like, let's that's
in slot number 3 on this thing. I play this thing on rotation all the time.
So it was basically like just reaching out, you kind of like roll the dice.
He didn't know,
And then it's like, so the coolest thing about that show was like, so we'd have openers, and then the guests, it was just different. But Van wanted to do an opening set. He did an acoustic set opening up the show. I'm talking about like sold out Brooklyn Bowl, jam packed, and we're gonna come out there and just kind of smash, and I mean, it was, I even got to jump up on stage and play drums with him, because during sound check, like, he went into this tune, and I just ran on stage and like got on. He was just looking at me, so like it was kind of hitting. So then I'm like up in the backstage, and I heard him go into the song. I run downstairs. I'm like, that was a fun moment. But
I love that dude.
I mean, floored the place with his opening acoustics, like him vocal mic sitting down, acoustic guitar, just brilliant. And then we get up, and of course, like, I always love, it's great when there's bass players that can play when I'm playing bass, that kind of know where to fit in, and
Mhm.
and know how, and
Yeah.
man, I mean, and that was, it was crazy. Then Van comes on stage and he has a bass on,
Right, right.
and the whole set, word just going at, like, just rocking all those tunes. I mean,
Yeah.
we basically did everything off that album, right?
I mean, we did a bunch of them, man. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
right.
Uh,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
of junk, like, and it was like, he is such a special human being. I
yeah,
cannot stress that
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm.
And
yeah.
so it was like when you meet someone and you're just like, it's like brothers. Like, this was like with Oteil Burbridge and Kofi when we
Mhm.
met them, we were like, when I was like 18, and it was the same thing.
Yeah.
It was this immediate, and so that's how it started. This was years ago. And then out,
Yeah, I mean, and Van and I, we just chop it up all the, like we'll just send each other like music here, like, oh, here, listen to what like just check out what I'm working
Mhm.
on. And then he'll send me something back, and then I'm like, well, I guess I should stop playing music, but that's cool, you know, you know. But one we were like kind of recently in the past few years that I was going over to Iceland. He was telling me, he's like, man. He's like, some of my favorite television shows are Icelandic television shows. And so, so all right, cool, man. So I was like, man, I would love to get you over to Floki for some reason. We got to figure it out, and like that didn't happen. But anyway, going into the Soulive record, man, we're over there, and we started working on that tune. So that what ended up being the tune that he sang on, "Flowers at Your Feet." That was an idea that I brought to the table, but it was an Afrobeat joint. And
Mm.
so we're after we cut a tune, we're all kind of sitting around. I was like, oh well, what should we do next? Neal was like, yo, well, So I'd have my phone, like, oh yeah, I have this idea. So we started, I'm at the drums and we start playing, and all of a sudden Neal's like heard it a different way. So then I remember he was like directing me. He's like, no, he's air drumming. He's like, play the beat like this, And he's telling Kraz, and then all of a sudden we fell into that. So
I'm
So
talking
we
about,
cut.
it was like within like a minute.
yeah.
It was
So
like,
we
in a minute, like literally we just sat and started playing. We played through, and I was just like, yo, and I was just like, oh, I just literally, like, I was just hearing. I was like, yo,
Yep.
and then I said, Crash, and I'm talking about probably less than a minute. It
Yep.
went from the Afrobeat track to that.
Yep. So we cut it, and then
Mhm.
immediately I knew that, or I guess we all knew that it wasn't like going to be it. It needed vocals. It just
Yeah.
it and literally. So we cut the take. I hit stop. I was like, got up. I went into the control room, printed a rough mix, and I literally actually before I went in the control room, I sent Van a text. I'm like, "Yo, bro, I got something for you, man. We got something for you, man. You got." And so I went in control room, printed the rough mix, sent it to him, and then he was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna check it out." He checked it out, and he actually. I remember when we got back from Iceland, he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm sorry, man. Like, I just I'm not feeling anything on this. I'm just because well, the other thing is that um Sly Stone had just passed away, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. It
exactly.
was Slide
Yeah,
passed. Yeah.
so he was like, so Van was just kind of like, he was like, yeah, man, I'm just feeling kind of like I just don't have it, like he was just kind of just feeling really emotional about what or whatever, So I was like, look, man, I said him back. I was like, look, no pressure at all. If you have nothing for it, cool. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. It's all good. So I have like this newsletter that I send out, like maybe once a month or whatever, just about my thoughts and whatever's going on. And I would remember I was talking about our trip to Iceland. And I was saying, basically, I was kind of to summarize it. I was like talking about how what we were talking about before, how beautiful it is there. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the most beautiful place on earth. You know what I mean? And I wish everyone could enjoy that. But I remember I said in it, um, I was like, but you don't have to go all the way to Iceland to enjoy the beauty of nature. You can just enjoy the flowers, right at your, out on
Mhm.
your, and I took a photo of like my like a flower bed at my crib, you know what I mean, outside.
Mhm.
And that, so Van hit me up after he always hits me up. Usually he's the first person that hits me up in the morning after reading the newsletter. And he was like, yo, I got it. He's like, man, what you said about the flowers, you know, and he was off and running, man. And then, man, when he sent the dude,
Al always hits me with these texts. He goes, and they're always like, "Yo," and I'm like, and then it'll be like, "Dude," and I'm like, "What's up, man?" He was like, "Dude," and then he's just like, "Yo,"
dude.
and I'm like, "Yo," and he's just, and then
Look at this old ass pic.
Oh,
yes.
Yo, this is, when is this? It was many, many, many years ago. Oh my God. This is right in between.
2000s, yeah,
Yeah, this is right in between debut and On the Jungle Floor.
yeah, the mid 2000s.
Man.
It's like back in the Apache Cafe, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you that he's just man. He is literally, I hate when people just throw out the word genius all the, you know what I mean? They just, oh, so-and-so's a genius. No, they're not. Van is. I'm sorry. Like,
Yes, sir.
I'll go
Van
on.
is incredible, man.
It's just,
it's kind of just, well, it's not, it's the most beautiful thing, but
it
it's
really
like,
is, man.
It's like I guess it's like a disturbing, beautiful thing, because you kind of know that everyone can do it, but it's disturbing. And like, why can't everyone do that? Because we all have the capability to.
Mhm.
And again, you kind of imagine a world if everyone could tap into that, like,
But they got to be able to, you can tap, a lot of people can tap in, but you got to connect to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is kind of the progression where I'm like, nah, you're just not giving this. Like, and but those things exist. They've been put here to enlighten us.
Yes.
Because then you're like, oh, it literally just changes because once that consciousness expands, it never contracts. It never contracts. It's just, it keeps expanding, and that's kind of what it's for. But it's amazing. I mean, because he's sending stuff like to Al and I that, like, oh yeah, people haven't heard yet, or like, and a lot of the stuff people don't know is like, he was writing for all those years that you didn't even know. It's not like, oh, he just put out an album and then put like he is a prolific writer, and for years
Dion Ferris and
everybody,
man,
and just his catalog of music is.
So check it. I'll tell you this. So around the house here, man, like, we haven't done it in a while, but I started doing this thing, man, where at the beginning of the day, I'll open up, like Apple Music or whatever, and I'll type in an artist, right? So just say Miles Davis or Paul McCartney or whatever, just you type in the artist name and you just hit on their art when you just hit play. And then throughout the day, it's just playing, it's just on shuffle, just like playing everything that they have in their catalog. And it's just a great way of just, if you find the right, because if you find the right artist, it could all day, you could just have just great music on, right? And I've just every once in a while, I'm not going to name names, but every once in a while, oh, I'm going to try so-and-so. And you're like, no, you could have made it, just some of the stuff didn't hold up,
Yeah.
And I said, man, one day I had a Van Hunt day. I did the same thing. I said, let me put in Van. And I told him about it. I remember I hit him up during the day. Held up, man. It was, and I'm telling you, not many, at least in my book, and here at home, not a lot of, like, I'm talking like, there's not a lot of artists
album. That debut album is on constant. I cannot get tired of that. There's not a weak song. It's so perfectly constructed.
No, man.
Too. It's like, dude, and Popular.
I'll tell you,
I was so mad that Popular did not get dropped, because I had already heard it, and when I found out that the public was not going to be able to hear that album, I was like, oh my God. I'm so glad they finally released it though. But God,
man, I'll tell you this though, man. Like, so I guess it was sometime last year he hit me up and he was like, hey man, he just sent me a sample link, just with some stuff. He was like, oh, this is just like a little EP. He said, what did he say? He said, oh, well, it's art, and he said, if you don't like it, maybe it'll just look good on the wall or something, it said something crazy, right? And I'm working in the studio, right? So I'm all right, cool. So I hit play, everything stopped. I was listening to this, and it was the latest EP that he just put out, like I guess late last year, or whatever. But I had like maybe a couple. He sent it a few months before it came out, and I remember sitting there listening to it, and I was like, man, there's stuff look, I'm an engineer. I'm a producer. I'm a mixing. I do this all. This is what I do. I don't really play music anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I do.
Okay.
And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, I literally don't know what's going on. You know, I don't know. I don't like. You know, it's just like I don't know what's going on. It's the most amazing music I've heard. When you're just like, dude, it takes a lot. Dude, I'm 50. I'm about to be 52 years old. At this point, man, it's gonna. I've heard a lot of music in my life, man. You know what I mean? And I hear something, I'm like, oh, I know what they did. I know, like, cool. I know where they're going with it. This stuff, I was just like, man, I don't even know. I just don't know.
Yeah,
and
Michael and I are both 57, and we have this discussion all the time where it's like, it's so difficult to get into new artists now because it's just like that Fool You show with Penn and Teller. It's like when they do all this magic tricks, we know how you did that. Just like you were saying. And it's the same approach music. You're like, yeah, okay.
It's kind of funny, man. So for the past many years, like, I really like, mostly what I listen to is choral music.
Wow.
Like straight like classical stuff and choral music. And then it's like
Manhattan Transfer,
I'm in the studio. What's that?
Like Manhattan Transfer, or were you thinking bigger than that?
Like classical, like choir,
like the hardcore. Okay, yeah.
Oh right. yeah, like
full
choir,
blown,
like classical stuff and
Requiem.
Yeah, exactly. Requiem, all Requiem, because I think of myself just as more as like a composer, So, but also but then I'm like listening to stuff like, I love like old, like 60s, like I love 60s stuff. Just kind of, for me, it's like a big part of it are just the drum sounds, like, because I mean, I'm a drummer also, so Al and I both grew up playing drums, but like, so it's just like the drum sound that I gravitate to, is like the kind of like
that open sound,
like Italian cinema, French cinema stuff.
Yeah,
like obscure like so that, and that also I was kind of getting to, but mostly like choral music. I'll throw some Beethoven on sometimes, or just some other classical stuff that I'm checking out. But it's I don't know, man. It's kind of wild because also I think about like, but again, like I was born in 76, but I'm really like grew up with I think some of the most incredible music of all time, like pop music of the 80s, pop music in the 80s, just the composers, the writers. It was like some of the highest level of writing, because like everyone was like trying to be different, and you just heard chords you heard sounds. Everyone had different synth sounds, or this, and the chords and lyrics, different melodies, like it's just some of the best music. And then to like, we've seen over the years how like kind of reductionist things have become a music. Like, sure, someone may come out with a new sound, but then all the labels try and push like the next, like, oops, sorry, hitting my bass here. Like, 600 people are gonna move into and play the same chords and the same sound, the same. It's just become so reductionist that I like when I sit in there and listen to like a symphony play. It was the same thing. I'm going like, what in the world happened to music? Like it's a very, sometimes I sit back and go like, what is actually going on here? Like when this stuff was created, that was like, but again, simplified. A lot of that stuff was like literally for the courts and the king and for church. It was like literally spiritual music. It was this, like it was spirit. So when you were performing something, it was like reaching into people's souls and trying to have them experience something outside of themselves. Outside of themselves,
So I have a question. You got a brand new album, Flowers, though. Do you feel like you've connected with something really different when you were putting together this new album? Do you feel like you accomplished?
Well,
because this is your first album in like 15 years. You guys haven't done something for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, man. So the thing is, I mean, it's all about timing, right? I don't think like if we couldn't have made that, we wouldn't have made that album if we in that studio in that setting 20 years ago. It wouldn't have happened. Like there, so the and why I say that is because I feel like we're at a point in our life now, not just like career, but literally just life, where you just how should I say this? Man, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. So when we get in the studio, so it wasn't like, man, we're gonna record these tunes and it's gonna sound like this and it's gonna, blah blah, and it's gonna do this for us and this. It was like, man, we're just going over there and we're just gonna see what happens. There was literally no plan. There was no plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
the past 3 albums have been like that. The cinematic albums,
yeah.
We've just like the intention is to record music.
Exactly. And
we do it well together. Like we do it well together, and there it's not. There's no pre-programming.
Yeah.
Because even if we have one idea here,
And I was curious about that. You mentioned the cinematic albums, the 1 and 2 that you guys have done, because I know it's kind of being marketed as the first album in 15 years, but you did have those 2 albums in the middle. Mm-hmm. Do you not consider those Soulive albums? Because
those are fully
okay.
Albums. Yeah. And again, like say Cinematic 2. Again, I show up a day before, if not 2 days before, and then so Al and I head to the studio. So Al's, I'll just sit down and because Al's amazing in the studio, because like there's no time, like when you go to a studio, like you're there to record, right?
Yeah.
Like not like you show up and then they're setting up mics on the drums, right? And then they're like, okay, let's get some sounds. Like, so I'm there, we're there the day before. Boom, Al's like, boom, got it. I get on the organ, and when I got on the organ, it's one of the songs. Yep. And then Al just got on the drum, and we were like, oh, man, we got a song. And then we did something else, and boom, I came, like 2 songs literally happened in a few minutes. Because I didn't, and then so when Crash showed up the next day, we were like, yo, okay, like Al was like, yo, Neal came up with this thing, because Al had it recorded, because he was just like recording to get the sounds. So yes. Al just played it. We were like, yo, that's a tune, man.
Al, can I ask Al a question?
Sure.
Of course.
Because being an engineer also and a producer and so on and so forth, like, are you guys self-contained, or do you work with?
We haven't in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody else's opinion really matters in the process.
Honestly, it never has. Like I'm pretty thick-headed. Awesome. It never. Right. Like we've always anything that we did, it was because like when we were like, yo, we want to bring a singer, because we met Reggie Watts back when he was a mock tube out in Seattle.
Right on,
like
Reggie
Watts.
Like, we were like,
nut.
We said like, yo, Reggie, we're like, boom, come on, because Reggie he was basically left mock tube out in Seattle because he kind of wanted to get back into people didn't even know, like he was doing improv comedy since he was a kid. Since he was a kid. Like he was doing his routine like when he was like 11, 12. Like he's been formulating work doing that for years. But unless you were probably on Seattle and kind of knew that they didn't, So he came here to get into the improv scene in New York. So he was in between like leaving this incredible band Mock Tube, and it was just timing that, because Reggie was with us for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then like so when he was off the road, boom, he's in the New York comedy scene. And then we're out touring. So it was kind of a perfect thing. If it had been a year later, it probably wouldn't work, because he would have been already like kind of into the scene in New York, probably more, But it was like this perfect time for him to transition, that what he went into. But like when we were like, we wanted horn players, we just had our horn players. There was like never like that's just how I'm in. Like nobody's gonna tell me like what to do. You know? Sir. And maybe that's just a weird thing of like that like, yo, I'm the bass player and the keyboardist, so it's like there's like no one dictating to me like where the harmony's gonna go, right?
Sure.
It's
Right.
I'm moving the
You
train.
can
and
go
Al's at the
anywhere
top.
you
It's
want.
Yeah,
we're moving the
exactly.
train, so
And
you
you
guys are
and you
on
just
it.
like, okay,
So
all right.
we're
Yeah.
it's just like let's roll, and that's I just think like that's how it's always been for Al and I. We're just man, this is this train, and we're gonna take it somewhere.
Yeah,
And then you
man.
just have to have the people that
Yes,
can
sir.
roll with that like crowds, like with these like cats that are like the cats, that.
Yes,
So
sir.
our whole career, like we've just done, like we've gone into like every single thing, just like
Man.
this is what it is. Like it's
Yep.
nothing was like preconceived, and
Mhm.
Well, I love this. I freaking love this album. I know we only got like 5 minutes left, but I want to make sure that people go out to Spotify and at least check the albums, but make sure also that you go to funkatopia.com and /flowers and pick up a copy of Flowers, because again, we need to start making sure that we're continuing to support the artistry through that physical medium, because it's just so difficult to make money. It's so convoluted right now. It's just a mess. And this album is just friggin'
say something now.
I'll say one thing, man. Yeah, the money's cool, right? But the one thing about it, man, when you have some vinyl, and all of us, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, man. Man, when you put on vinyl, man, yeah, you know what dude. I got mine over here, man. Like, man, it's an experience that gets you to slow down and just pay attention to something. You know what I mean? To some music, to someone's work, someone's artistry. You know what I mean? Rather than it just being so easy to it just being background music.
Or
Even if background music,
or to flip to the next thing.
Yeah,
Scroll
exactly.
to the next
You know what I
thing,
mean?
or
So
click to the next. Like it's different.
So again, man, Neal and I keep talking about this, man. But little things, man, to just get people to just kind of slow down and just experience something just wonderful. You know what I mean? So hey, if it's our record, if it's somebody else's record, man, just buy some records, man, and just like sit down and enjoy, man. Take some time out for yourself.
I'll tell you what, like, so even back to we're talking about back to the MPG stuff, like when it came out, like when the CD, like, listen, man, I was hating on CDs because I still had my cassettes when CDs rolled through, because I was like, yo, these are something, but when cut 2 years later, when everything was CD, like again, like we had to put the CD in and just sit there in front of the stereo.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I've come home from school and bro, I was pumped, dude. Sexy Mother, that joint was blasting out of my house before my mom came home, because my parents were both teachers. So I was gonna, so I would literally have like a half hour before she came. That joint was just and woo. Like I'm telling you, man, like but there's something about just like I couldn't, like, I mean, it was playing loud, but like you didn't want to run away from it. You didn't want to do something, like you were just there in front of the stereo. Like you were there in front of the stereo.
Yeah. Well, you were there in front of the stereo, but y'all are mutants. See, the whole world can't pick up on what you're all mutants.
And it's but it's funny, man. My wife talks about the same thing, and she's older than me, but she just has this experience. She was an only child, but she still talks about this to this day with her father. Like, but Al and I were like just too, like, just being like sitting down, put on a record on in the headphones. And this is just something that she talks about to this day. That experience of like seeing her father and then she would do it. There was, man, like listening to Mercy, 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 Cannonball Adderley live on headphones, and I would sit there. I used to sit in front of the record player, like laying on the ground, and my arms used to get numb. Like like it's a funny thing. Like my arms used to get numb because I would be sitting there, laying on my stomach, and just it's like your imagination just goes wild, because I've just imagined what it was like to be in that room when those dudes were playing Mercy, 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 and you're hearing everyone scream.
Speaking of which, where are you guys? I only see a couple shows on your calendar, but Where can people come and see you guys playing?
Man, we got 2 shows down outside of basically Philadelphia, Ardmore, PA, at the Ardmore.
Yeah,
That's
great spot, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's cool.
love
that's in April, end of April, around the 22nd, 23rd, I believe it
Yeah.
is, something like that. And then we're gonna be out in Portland, Oregon, at the Get Down, which is it's kind of funny. But,
yeah, it's kind right. Yeah,
We gonna play Get Down at the Get
yeah,
Down.
and that's
Yeah,
two,
Get Down
that's
at the
2
Get
shows
Down.
out there. That's gonna be
Yeah,
2
in
shows.
May, and then
At the end of May.
yeah. So we're out doing a couple things here and there.
Man, I can't thank you guys enough for taking time out of your day to come and check, and we'll have to get on Krasno's case for slipping
It's
out.
all right, we didn't need
where
him.
is he right now? Where is he? He's over in
I
I thought you said Netherlands. I don't remember.
I think he's in Iceland, actually. I think. I mean,
I think that's what Leah said. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's
Well,
he's doing something good. So that's cool.
I hope you folks will go and check out the brand new album from Soulive. And again, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause for these two gentlemen right here,
man.
Alan Neal
Come on, man.
of Soulive. Come on, man.
Yo, man,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so much
fellas.
for coming
And
out.
thanks for having us. Really, like, yeah, it's great to see you again. Like,
Yeah, man.
I was like,
My-
I
like,
met those dudes one time.
like seriously, man. Like, yeah, it's always like it's just it's always just an incredible experience to meet someone that, like, again, I don't want to make this too much longer, but just we've been able to have like John Schofield on our album, and people like this that
The dude, man.
I remember. I can't talk about this. The day Al had Time on My Hands, when he got that album in the 80s. And it's, again, these are just things that exist on this thing. You never think like you're gonna meet this person or ever see them in your life. So it's always just a special moment when, like, I've just known you from listening to you, and it's just in my imagination, right?
Sure.
And then to meet you, and it was just like, oh man, I'm telling you, man, like, dude, that I will never forget that day in Milan, ever.
No,
It was like a bomb went off, like we were bugging out, man. I just couldn't believe, like, I was, it was so much fun. So it's so great to see you again. So great.
You guys too, man. Do you ever get back up to Minneapolis at all?
Man.
Listen, in the summertime. The last time I was there, I was okay. I have a couple experiences. One was when I was with I was like with Lettuce for, I don't know, oh my goodness, how many years? 16 years or probably something like that.
Sure.
And it was kind of near one of the last years that I was with them, and when we were heading to Minneapolis to play, and we lost heat on the bus.
Oh boy.
So
That's
if
not even
you
funny.
can imagine, and like at the time, like, I don't sleep on buses. I'm an early riser. So basically I was up in the front lounge 6:30 in the morning, just seeing my breath come out, no heat, hours. And then we rolled in it was so, and then so when we rolled there, it was like it was negative something crazy, like 10. And because I think a pipe, something like that, froze and burst the whole. It was so cold because we were at First. Yeah, we were at First Ave when we played there.
Sure.
And they had the garage where the buses pull. It was so cold. We had to pull the bus in there. And I was like, oh, okay, there's some shelter around. I stepped off the bus. It was even, I will never, man, that was one of the coldest. I went to this incredible German restaurant, like right around, kind of just a couple blocks away from the club that I managed to walk a couple blocks to. And I kind of rolled over there, like, everyone else was probably crashed out or whatever. And just to get some heat, I stayed in that restaurant, and I was just like, and then the next time I was there, I was out with Jack White for a year, and we were in Minneapolis. And again, man, like, I don't know what it was like, I got there and it was just, it's cold. But we grew up in Buffalo, so like we know cold. Like we know cold.
Doesn't mean you like it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so now but the shows there, that's the cool thing. Like, right, when it's cold, they're like, man, you're like, oh, it's gonna go off tonight. Because people are gonna get somewhere, they're gonna stay somewhere. They're not like running all around now. Like people are like, I am going to, like, it's like, all right, we're going out to see this tonight.
That's right.
You're kind of psyched, like, oh, get out. And so the shows there are always have always been incredible. It's just an amazing like crowd of but again, like that's like comes from just the culture that has been like created in that place, you know.
Yes, sir. We love good music.
Yes. And people kind of expect it. Like that's a whole other thing, right? When you like, and people there, like the bars, like people expect it, and they're about live music and like just everything. They're about music, man. So it's always been great. So
yeah, it's serious here.
Listen,
you're right.
If we get a chance to, man, we'll be there.
So I got to come to Philly to see y'all. Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, I'm saying come because that club, Ardmore is so awesome. Like I always loved when I see like these owners that put money back into their venue.
Yes, sir.
And they kind of told me they kind of did it when everything was shut down over in like, I don't know if it was 2020 or 21. And that's kind of, man, you're really, they didn't even know like, hey, are we going to be in business? Is this going to open up again? So for someone to take that type of risk, and then for like an artist to walk back into a venue and you step on stage and you're like, oh my, it just it changes it for the crowd, you know, for people want to come to like, you just, I don't know, for sure, it amazing. Like, so our last time there, we were,
I got you
smoking.
First Avenue, what they did during the pandemic was they changed their PAs. They got new equipment.
Really?
Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Soul Asylum was the first band. I play in Soul Asylum, been in the band.
Yeah. Wow.
I think we were the first band to play there once they got the new install together.
Damn.
I mean, and that place was always, it was banging.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yes, sure. And it's now they have like it's like the only PA of its kind in North America. I think it's like what is it called? Somebody Acoustics. L Acoustics, maybe? I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, L Acoustics.
Yeah, they were, man. Our front of house guy was like, man, there was some horsepower in here, man. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give a big round of applause.
Once again.
Neal Evans. And hopefully you guys will check in with us in the near future. We obviously got to do a part 2 because we can probably talk on that.
There's a lot to talk about, man.
Anytime.
Indeed.
That's a bet, man, for sure.
Thank you guys for coming out, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man,
have a great night.
All right.
Man, I'm so glad you guys got an opportunity to tune in. I'm Mr. Christopher. That is Michael Bland. This has just been Funkatopia Live. We don't know if we'll see you next week or not. We kind of fly by the seat of our pants. Once again, this is all without a net. I hope you guys had a good night. And thank you guys to Soulive for stopping in. And if you missed any of it, just tune into iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can see anything that you missed.
Yes, sir.
Adios, amigos y amigas. Just say bye. Bye.